Welcome back, guys. Season of Discovery is just around the corner. We are doing the mini guides for all classes where we cover the new spells, potential specs, professions, best in slot in the first phase, which is going to be capped at level 25, and so on. Yesterday we covered the mage. Today you guys voted in the comments that we should cover the rogue. If you have any ideas what class we should cover next, let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, let's get right into the rogue. As yesterday, we are using 60 upgrades to figure the best potential way to gear up the rogue at level 25. And starting with the helm, we found that Humbert helm, it's one of the best in slot for level 25. It's a level 25 helmet with 8 stamina, 7 agility, which drops in Hillsbrad foothills. It might be hard to acquire, but if you don't get it, if you have engineering, the next best thing would be the bright-eyed goggles, which is going to be 9 stamina, 9 spirit. If you can't get those ones as well, because it requires a BOE drop to get the recipe, you can get the green tinted goggles. Speaking of engineering, the best professions for the rogue will probably be engineering, either with mining to level it up, followed by leatherworking. We're gonna get into this a bit later. The necklace, the best in slot necklace is going to be the Hide Tide Choker, which is gonna drop from the new 10-man raid in BFD. 7 strength for agility, which at level 25 is gonna be huge for rogues and warriors and so on. We're moving on to best in slot called Mantle of Thieves. It's 10 agility, 4 stamina. Really nice to have at level 25. However, it's going to be a bit quite tricky to get. It drops from a Razafran Crawl. It's a BOE drop, so people will probably farm Razafran Crawl trash or even farm the dungeon itself, because let's be honest, it's not a hardcore server, so you can die multiple times. Moving on, the Cape of the Brotherhood with a 3 agility enchant. 3 agility enchant might be hard to get as it drops from level 40 mobs, but if you get a small raid of people, you might be able to get the recipe. Cape of the Brotherhood from DM. Also, if you have engineering, you can get probably the Parachute Cloak, which is 8 agility as well. If you're playing Alliance, you're in luck. Tunic of Westfall comes from a quest. 11 agility at level 25, 5 stamina. Seems really great. If not, you still get it from Dead Mines. There's the Van Cleef chest as well as Horde. Bracers, we get the Mad Wolf Bracers, which have 2 stamina, 5 agility. And for weapons here, it was a bit kind of hard to figure out what the best main hand is, but apparently the Beazle Basher, which is a world drop. I dropped this one on my rogue twice. It seems to be like the best option. It has the highest output damage and also a 2.5 speed. If you have like a Shadow Fang, or if you have a Cruel Barb, it's still gonna be pretty good as a main hand, especially playing combat, but this one seems to be the best in slot at this level. This is for Horde. This is for Alliance. I haven't checked Horde. Might be the sword from BFD, the Outlaw Saber, and I have to look into that. As an offhand, I was looking for a fast dagger to be able to apply poisons. We don't really go for sword spec or mace spec. If you have like a race that benefits from extra mace talents or sword talents, that's fine. But since it's level 25, we're kind of looking for a fast offhand to apply more poisons, as we're gonna talk about the new spell soon. This one also has a proc that does 35 fire damage, a lot of damage per second, and 1.8 speed is quite decent. Those are the weapons that I chose, but there are other combinations as well. Moving on to the gloves, we have the first epic gloves, which are the Void Touched leather gloves. They require 100 skill to make. I'm not sure about the materials, but they seem to have agility, stamina, and also they have a chance to hit by 1, which for a melee, especially dual wield, it's quite great. Hope to see more hit gear in the future. Descends into Madness, increasing attack speed by 10%, as well increasing the threat you generate for 10 seconds, which can be great for tank rogues, which we're going to talk about soon. Moving on, it's going to be the Windborn Belt. This is a Horde-only quest, I think, or an Alliance-only quest. But if you can't get this belt, the next best one would be the Deviate Scale Belt, 6 stamina, 5 agility. Pants, obviously the Trip Runner Dungarees. 6 stamina, 18 agility, 3 strength. If you get those at level 25, it's going to be awesome. However, it's going to be a challenge to clear Nomor at level 25. I think people will still do it, but it's going to be quite a challenge. Moving on, Feet of Links, BOE World Drops, a lot of people gonna get it. If you're playing Horde, however, there are the Warsong boots from Ashenvale. You do a small quest and you get a pair of boots with 8 agility, 6 stamina. So there's a advantage there as well for Horde. For rings as an alliance, you get Seal of Rin. For Horde, you don't, but you can get a BOE as well called a Thunderbar ring. Or if not, just a random 4 agility, 4 stamina ring would do the job. A ring of the monkey. As a Horde, you also get a quest in Shadowfang Keep, which gives you an 8 stamina, 3 strength ring. I don't remember the name, but you can pick the quest from Undercity if you're playing Horde. Obviously, from the level 25 raid, you get the Void Pearl, which has 10 attack power, 10 shadow resistance. And if you're crazy enough to go for the Arena Grandmaster, I think you can. There's gonna be probably a lot of layers early on, so as soon as you get 25, just try to get there. It's not a hardcore server, so it's not gonna be impossible to get. However, you're gonna have to be quite one of the first there. And then we have the Ranger Bow, which is 1 agility. This is the best in slot I came with. If you're going for daggers, Meteor Shard would be a great main hand, and then you can find another dagger for offhand. Something like... There's a lot of options. For example, Talon of Ultros, that's too slow. Prison Shank from the Stockade, this is Alliance only. But there are some BOEs, even one crafted with Blacksmith that would work great. Try to find a fast one for applying more poisons. Obviously, as we're moving to our talents and our potential specs here. Now, the first spec we're gonna talk about is going to be the tank spec. I know rogue tanking seems to be a bit too hard to grasp. It's not the first time we're tanking with rogues. We tanked with rogues in Naxxramas as well, using a bit of... that doesn't matter. So, the new spells for tanking, the new rune that is going to go on the chest is called Just a Flesh Wound. Take 20% reduced physical damage while Blade Dance is active. Additionally, you have 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks. The threat generated by all your action is massively increased, and your feint ability gets replaced with Tease, which taunts the target to attack you. But has no effect if the target already attacking you, so only if you lose aggro you can get it back with Tease, which is feint. Who would have known? The second rune, which is kind of required to be able to tank, is Blade Dance, which is a combo point generator. Whenever you use it on 4 points, 9% parry, 5 points, 10%, and so on. This is going to be required to work with Just a Flesh Wound. And then we have the main Gosh. Instantly strike with your offhand weapon for normal offhand weapon damage and increase the chance to parry by 10%. So if we do the math here, we got 10% from 10% from Blade Dance, 10% from main Gosh, which can be held like probably continuously up to we have 20% parry right there, and the damage reduction, the chance to not get critical hit. Also, we get 5% chance to parry from deflection as well. A bit of dodge from the talent points. I would assume combat would be the best way to go for this, because as a tank you probably need all the hit you can get. You need the repost probably. It's a threat generation ability. It only costs 10 energy. It procs quite often, especially when you tank. And obviously probably the Sinister Strike will be still your main filler when main Gosh is on cooldown. We don't know exactly how it works so far, so we're waiting for this to be developed. This is a tanking rogue. I don't see it like people preferring it over a paladin or a warrior, but hey, whenever you don't have an option, maybe it's something you want to try out. Maybe it's gonna work fine. I wonder how this will look. Who knows? Let's just see. Moving on to the second potential build, I'm going to go for probably Deadly Brew into an Envenom into a Mutilate. I recently played my Wrath of the Lich King Rogue, and it seems to be quite similar. The unfortunate thing at level 25 is that you don't get the Deadly Poison, so you kind of have to go for Deadly Brew, which when you inflict other poison on a target, you also inflict the Deadly Poison, so you can use 2 instant poisons on the weapons, and you will apply deadly poison as well because of the deadly brew. Deadly poison is a spell that requires level 30. We have the cap at 25. You get a point. This is a must. Then we have Envenom. You all know how it works with Envenom at 5 points. You do 200 damage. I'm not sure if it works exactly like in Wrath of the Lich King, but it's an Envenom. We have Mutilate, instantly attacks with both weapons for 100% weapon damage, plus an additional 20 with each weapon. Damage is increased by 20% against poisoned targets. Mutilate, this is important to know because a lot of talents will be like this. Mutilate benefits from all talents effect that trigger from Backstab. So, for example, you can get Lethality, increasing the critical strike damage bonus of your Sinister Strike, Gouge, Backstab, and Ghostly Strike by 6%. So, I'm not sure exactly if improved Backstab will trigger Mutilate here. But with that being said, let's try to build a quick Mutilate spec. Probably what I would go for would be 5 into Malice. Obviously, crit chance is great. Improve Slice and Dice, always you keep it up. Apply more poison because faster weapon. Here, I would probably go for Ruthlessness. Only 2 of them because I want to get 5 into Lethality to get that early 30% damage and Relentless Strikes. This would be my level 25 build potentially for Mutilate and Poisons. I could probably modify. I could take the Ruthlessness points and put them into Remorseless attacks, but I think this is the way I would go, or even Murder. Moving on to the last but not least, we gotta figure another rogue spec, probably a dagger spec. Slaughter from the Shadows. Reduces the energy cost of your Backstab and Ambush abilities by 20. This is huge. This is huge because it makes Backstab and Ambush cost like a Sinister Strike. You're gonna be able to spam it. You're gonna be able to do 3 Backstabs in a row in PvP. You're gonna be able to open Ambush, Backstab, Backstab without... You're gonna be... Oh my god. Dagger Rogues have a treat. I think this is gonna be one of the most overpowered specs. Obviously, probably with the Backstab, we're gonna take between the eyes, right? It's mostly a PvP spec anyway. Maybe it's gonna be the new DPS spec. Between the eyes, ranged finishing moves that causes damage per combo point, increased by attack power and stuns the target. Range finishing move. So you do at 5 points a 5-second stun. So if someone is trying to run away from you, you're gonna be able to do an ranged stun. Oh my god. And then we're moving towards probably Shadow Strike. This is gonna be the build. Slaughter from the Shadows, Backstab and Ambush reduced by 20 the cost. Stun, ranged stun, which is not just it's a 5-second stun on 5 points. And then you have like Shadow Strike, teleport behind the target and strike causing 150% weapon damage to the target, must be stealthed. Words 1 combo points. So it's kind of crazy. Probably the way I would go here, it would be a third spec, opportunity 5 out of 5 to get benefit from both Backstab and Ambush. We get here 20% damage increase to both spells, which are already affected by Slaughters from the Shadows. Keep that in mind. Obviously Camouflage into Elusiveness, into Improved Ambush to get that 45% crit. From here, we can get probably Ghostly Strike to get some extra dodge if we need, but this seems to be like a clotty killer build. It's going to be crazy. And this is only gonna get better later with levels. Those are the talents I've seen fit to do today that I thought would make a difference. These are the items, the best in slot that I would probably go for. I think Rogue is going to be one of the classes I'm going to play. I'm going to play multiple classes up to level 25. Not sure exactly how long phase 1 is going to last, but after phase 1 comes phase 2. If I level like 3 or 4 characters to level 25, after that they're going to get rested XP. They're going to level easier. A lot of guys asked me yesterday what guide I'm going to use for leveling the characters. I'm just going to use my old Rested XP Classic Era guide, the speed leveling guide. If you're interested in getting one, There's a link in my description. Use my code Frostadamus, you get 5% off. Speed leveling guide, you only purchase it once, you have it forever. I have it all the way since Season of Mastery. This is gonna be, guys, find me live at twitch.tv/Frostadamus. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below which class you want to see next. We're gonna cover probably all of them. The order is decided by you. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, stay frosty. Bye-bye.